Okay, it's time to build your bio dashboard and learn objectively how to understand what your body is trying to tell you. This is what this is all about, okay? People understand more about the operation of the car than they do the body. If only we knew how to interpret what our body was telling us, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And this is what this course is all about. It's about being able to profile and identify what's going on in the body. And when we do take action and we do start a protocol and we do start doing some supplements and whatnot, being able to determine, interpret whether what you're doing is working or not. Because, you know, we don't want to go to, say, we go and see a nutritionist or a naturopath or whatever, and we get some supplements and, okay, we have a session and we'll come back in 4 weeks' time. And then we come back in 4 weeks' time and we're, oh, well, that didn't work. Oh, we've got to change that. Well, we just wasted 4 weeks. Okay, so if you look close enough and you track this stuff, you will start to see very, very powerful patterns that there's no other way of ever identifying these things. You've got to measure, you've got to track, and we've got to have our own dashboard. And we do, and we'll talk about that in a minute as far as the tracking and having everything online and whatnot. Okay, so we all know about an engine. You know, we jump into a car, we've got you know, fuel light, we've got indicators, we've got oil light, we've got all this feedback to give us an idea of what's going on. If we didn't have that, it'd be very difficult to drive the car. But we don't have a light on our tummy to say, hey, we're dehydrated, or you know, these things are going on, we need to, you know, whatever. We don't have we don't have a dashboard as such, but we do have a means to be able to do the same thing, understand on a day-to-day basis how our body is performing. And if we can do that, especially if we're doing it when we're not sick, we can then start to move into where we need to move into, which is prevention. The new cure is prevention. There's no question. Okay, sure, this stuff is very powerful to help people heal and support them in their healing, and depending on what's going on, regardless if it was cancer or cardiovascular, whatever. But what if we didn't get sick in the first place? We don't need a cure. And this is what needs to happen. And this is my whole thrust, my whole mission in life, is to get this work out there so that we can start getting to the point, changing this thinking and getting out of the mind that we have to prevent. And it's so much easier to prevent illness in the first place. And I'll just very, very quickly, I'll take cancer as an example. You know, there's 2 or 3 little simple tests that you can do in minutes that will give you feedback and tell you whether you're in more of a higher risk of developing tumors, for instance, or cardiovascular or whatever. Simple little tests you can do that can just, you can do this on a day-to-day basis and keep yourself out of that range. And that's what this is all about. But to do that, we have to measure, we have to profile, and we have to have the feedback, and we have to track. We have to see the patterns. And I work with a lot of people on a coaching program over a 12-month period. And when we do that and we track, it's absolutely mind-blowing about what your body reveals. And like I said before, it's stuff that you'd never be able to find out. It's so subjective if we don't do this stuff. Okay, I'm not going to talk all through that. You can go back and read this afterwards.